Alright, hi guys. So, this video is kind of like my other ones, but it's to do with Mythic Sludgefist instead of a dungeon. Um, so, I recently killed Mythic Sludgefist, and I was using Reprisal when doing it, which is a bit of a controversial thing. It's a bit more seen now, but when Reprisal first came out, people were saying you don't want to use it on Mythic Sludgefist. It's bad, etc., etc. Where it's really not. It's actually really good. I mean, myself included also said it's bad, so I did the progression and changed my mind because it's not. It's really good for this fight, and I'll explain. I'll try and explain why, and I'll explain how I used it. So yeah, before we get into the video, me talking about what I was doing personally, I just want to go and show you the logs. So this is our kill. And this is kind of the strength of the build. You can block 100% if you do it correctly. I missed one melee over the entire fight, which I didn't block. So I have absolutely insane amounts of physical mitigation against this boss with running Reprisal. I did take Heedless Charge at the end, so that's 100k that you can just take off my total damage, which brings me down to quite low, or lower than I should be. That's fine. And also, because you're running Reprisal, like, damage is really high, because you get to run anger management, so you have Avatar for every pillar, as well as, blocking every hit, which, if you're running the wall and you're running bolster, you can block every hit. Well, you can block near enough every hit, but you don't have Avatar for every pillar. And if you're running AM with the wall, you don't have the blocks. So you're trading off for either damage or defense there, where this sort of build is both together. Yeah, so this is why I think it's better. There's obviously a lot of things you have to do to make... Well, not a lot of things you have to do, but there's things you can do to make it work. So yeah, let's start. So the way I used Reprisal on this fight, there are easier ways of doing it. I'll say that to start with, just because essentially you can have a cancel or intervene macro on your co-tank. So I asked my co-tank to do this, and we tested it, and it didn't work. Essentially, it's just he'd written it wrong. So I asked him to put it on every ability he had. So if I intervened him at any point in the fight, well, his spamming abilities, so Shear, I think it is, and Fracture, it would cancel pretty quickly. So I'm not taking the 6 seconds of hit, which is why Reprisal was regarded being quite bad, because you intervene someone, you intervene your co-tank, and then you take 6 seconds of their damage. So if you're going to go that route, you need to make sure your co-tank has macroed it before his spell, because that's the only way that's how it works. And this is in our kill, he's done that. We retried it. We put the macro in front, or the cancel cast in front of his spells, and it worked. But a lot of this, of what I found and what I learned while progressing this boss, was ways to intervene without intervening my co-tank. And yeah, it works out, because you don't need to intervene on cooldown if you want 100% block up chance. So if you don't even want to risk the intervene stuff, it's fine. So a few things to make this work. As I mentioned, you need to get your co-tank on your side, because you need to write the macro. You also need to get your co-tank on your side, because he needs to work with you, because you're going to need to charge every stomp and every roar to make this work. So your co-tank needs to know that. He needs to know that at roar, he needs to not be pushed back to the same distance as you. He needs to be pushed back about halfway. And on stomp, he also needs to make sure that he's running back pretty sharpish, so you can charge as well. Right, so getting into the video. As I said, we didn't know that, well, our first iteration of the macro didn't work, so I was damn set on intervening at the start of the fight, because it gives you extra seconds of shield block that you need to get you to the first stomp, really. and I couldn't intervene my co-tank. So I found a range player, my Ellie Shaman here, and he stood in that spot every single pull. So I could intervene him every single pull at the start. So we go, intervene, pot, and charge. So I've got 6 seconds of shield block up, and the boss is only first melee, so that's fine. And that's good. So we just start doing our rotation. Now here you can use both your shield block charges and all of that shield block time. So I've got 11 seconds, and Stomp comes in 8 seconds. So I've already covered this time until Stomp. So I can spend all my rage on revenge. So this fight is very repetitive. You'll get very used to it very early on. So here's the first Stomp. Kotak needs I need to charge. We run in a little bit, then I charge. He doesn't wait. He doesn't do anything. He knows I'm charging. He knows he's got to run. So he just runs in. So let's just go back a bit. Right. That's a bit too far. Whoops. So Stomp. Charge. So this is where the intervene macro cancel aura came in for me on the last few pulls. So I've got shield block charge, I'm using it, so I've got 6 seconds. Now this will basically last you until the raw where you can charge again, but because we'd sorted out the intervene macro and it's early on in the fight, I've got full health, not taking a lot of damage, just in case he doesn't cancel it early. You can intervene your tank as he casts Chain Slam here, you see? So I intervene my co-tank. Now, obviously, if you're going to intervene and you have the cancel or intervene, and you don't want to take extra hits, or you don't want to risk taking extra hits, Chain Slam is a great point to do it. It's a few seconds of the boss not meleeing, so you can do it at the start, and then by the time the boss is finished and is about to melee again, if your co-tank's macroed it in, then great, he hasn't got intervene anymore, and you don't take the melee hit, or a few melee hits. So yeah, raw. Just go back again. As you see, my co-tank doesn't get pushed back as far as me, which allows me to charge. Now this is something we had to learn, and he had to learn as well, you see? So he's getting pushed back a little bit, because he doesn't want to not get pushed back, because I want to go further than the range of the chain. So yeah, he goes about halfway, I charge back in, he's still in range, nice and easy, can use charge, and can get my shield block. So there. So, still got time on shield block, and Stomp's already coming. If I didn't intervene, I would have just ran out of shield block just as Stomp started. So you don't need to intervene at all. You have enough shield block time just to carry you through this phase without needing to intervene. But I did it just because I was full health, get an extra revenge for free. Might as well. So pillars here. Let's just do damage. Thanks to obviously the Reprisal build, I've got AM, so I have Avatar back. I've used it at the start. I've got Avatar back now, so I can use Avatar and damage out and spear just on every pillar, which is great. So this is another bit. This is where I use intervene again. So as you can see, we have some range with us, and that was just a contingency for if the tanks don't soak both circles, that we have more people there to help soak. And this wasn't something that came in as after I started using Reprisal. This is always there. And so this is why I have my Boomkin here, who's always going to be, it's always him and his partner soaking with us. I have him on focus because I know he's always going to be stood there, so I know that I can intervene him just as Raw goes out to get extra seconds of shield block, and I don't need to worry about intervening my tank and getting hit by the boss a few extra times before he cancelled it. Well, as I said, we didn't have that macro, so it was, I'm going to intervene someone else, so I just don't get hit for 6 seconds, and I get the shield block I need. So intervene, get pushed back with the Raw, charge in, and then I leap to my co-tank. So shield block, we've got enough time now. It's the same as the start. It's a very repetitive fight. I can use both my charges, and that'll last me till Stomp. So usually here, this is the downside of the Reprisal build. Essentially, you get less shield walls and you get less last stands. So usually around this point in the fight, my HP is quite low because obviously we take the boss quite far away. So I usually use shield wall around here, but I was full health, so I didn't think I needed it. So yeah, just keep going, same thing. So this time I don't intervene, and you'll see I just have enough shield block to last until stomp. There you go. So shield block's still up and stomps come. Same again. So do damage, intervene my range that's always going to be there, and then we go back to the boss. Well, charge and then stand on the go tank. So intervene, charge, try to leap, I think, yeah, and screwed up, but that doesn't matter. Still in position. It's just the same again. 2 shield blocks, and you reach stomp range. So yeah, I'll just get through because and then yeah. So here, this can be the one downfall of using Reprisal. So these spawn, I think it's pseudo randomly or sort of randomly or half on people, half not. These can spawn in basically where you want to charge. So you always have to be ready to adjust. After stomps, you don't need to charge. You can do it without, but you might take 1 or 2 melees unmitigated, or 1 or 2 more melees unmitigated. So, because you have to spend that shield block charge that you don't need to before the stomp, or you can just not and go a few seconds without it, and then you'll be fine for the second phase, second thing. So these are real hassle, and you need to know how to react, and that basically comes from play. So I actually charge through this because I can charge and then I'm outside of the circle. These circles are slightly bigger than they appear, which is an issue, but I know I can charge. May have been a wrong idea here. Demon Hunter, when he sees these sorts of things, he thought of knows I don't charge, but I thought I'd risk it, and we're still in range anyway, so miss the circle. Just keep going. So raw, charge back, and then we're at stomp. So same again, every pillar, damage and intervene my druid, it's always there. Yeah, ready. So with this intervening the range, I had to be quite explicit to him that he needed to stand on me, so I can intervene him at minimum distance. You don't need to do this, but it was easier for me. So I can intervene him at minimum distance before the roar, so I still get pushed back far enough away, because I'm not moving anywhere with intervene, that I can charge the boss, essentially. So yeah. So yeah, it's just a repeat fight. Once you've got the first phase down, with how to use Reprisal, it's the same every time. So it's pretty repetitive, and you can basically, you have a lot of rage to spend, and you can choose to spend either on revenge or ignore pain. I always choose revenge because even though there is a lot of environmental damage here, I wasn't dying to that. I was dying to well, not being healed because I wasn't taking that much damage from the boss at all. That the healers would forget to heal me for a time. So this is the last pillar. Obviously, you do the exact same thing. I think I screw up a bit because we're getting low. You know, this is a really good pull for us. So So I stand on my Kotank to my druid to intervene him. I don't think I do. No, I don't. But I shield block and I charge, which still gives us a lot, and I'm pretty sure it's still enough to get us through, because I usually use, so I shield block again. Stomp's coming in 5. Do I shield block? Okay, yeah, so I screwed up there because obviously I didn't use my, I had to use my spare one because I didn't intervene. So that shows if you don't intervene, you kind of need to pick up your spare shield block. But there are ways around it, and there's ways you can play around it. So charge back in, get shield block running, use my CDs because I got them back again. But obviously there's no other pillar, so use them now. Just get shield block back in time just to refresh and raw. So charge in. Then just fell off before stomp. So if I go back a little bit to the raw, as you can see, you can do this phase without that extra shield block charge, but it's really easy. It's really good if you do. So like stomp's minus 0.3 seconds. My shield block's just running out, and as it disappears, stomp comes. So just managed to eke that out. And then I screw up here, so obviously I said these things are the problem. I charge back in to get some rage, because obviously I want to execute. The boss is dead pretty much at this point. But I charge right into a circle. And me and my Kotank had planned that he takes the charge so I can continue executing, because I do more damage. But because I charged in and got stunned, I got the charge. But oh well. What are you going to do? So I take the charge, and boss is dead. So yeah, that's how I used Reprisal. I hope it's given you guys some insights and some interesting things to think about, and to see if you guys want to use it on the fight or not. So yeah, thanks for watching.